Hello, my name is Chuck Rund, and I'm joined by Christine Goodwin, who is the candidate for Senate in District Number 2. She's currently a state representative in District Number 4, and welcome, Christine, to this meeting of a forum of the Grants Pass Chamber of Commerce and of the Daily Courier.
Happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Great. First of all, for those of you who are watching, one of the most influential powers as citizens that we have is exercising our right to vote. However, with this power comes a civic responsibility to consider options and make informed decisions when electing representatives to office. Just as a reminder, ballots will be mailed out May 1st, and so get ready to vote in the primary election coming up. This afternoon's questions and answers will be recorded, and you can view them on Grants Pass and Josephine County Chamber of Commerce YouTube channels and on Facebook. Thank you for those of you who are watching. We have a few rules to get started with. The candidate will have a chance to give a 2-minute introduction and then 90-second responses or answers to questions that are asked, and then a 2-minute set of closing comments. There is a timer on the screen. Providing the questions are the Grants Pass Daily Courier and the Grants Pass and Josephine County Chamber of Commerce. Let's begin. So Christine, you have 2 minutes. Please give yourself an introduction and welcome to this forum.
Well, thank you. I've been serving in the House of Representatives for 2 terms now, so I know legislative work, and I know how important it is to apply critical thinking to that work and to consult with industry and experts before making decisions. It is also very important to build relationships and know not just with colleagues, but also with agencies and with legal, financial, fiscal officers, those people in the Capitol that are truly neutral, that provide information. So I spend a lot of time with those folks. I have a very clear decision-making process. And for most of my life, I have had experiences. The background that has brought me to this point is lengthy in community and business experiences. So run 2 of my own businesses and also administrated my husband's practice. And I also have been involved as school board chair, leadership role during contentious times. I've administered departments for the county as a board of commissioner for Douglas County, been on planning commission. So I've had a lot of experience that I think have brought skills to me to be a good legislator. I know how to manage people. I know how, well, I've signed the front of a paycheck, so I know very well. I'm grounded in Realville in terms of knowing how legislation is actually going to play out for my constituents and in my districts.
Thank you very much. Let's begin with some of the questions. The very first question we have is, as a member of the Oregon legislature, what would be your 3 highest priorities? 90 seconds.
Well, the top 3, I am a business champion in Salem, and because I've been a business owner and because I really understand those challenges and struggles, and particularly in small business. However, all levels of business are important to me. I've been serving in healthcare, vice chair of healthcare, behavioral health, healthcare. They combine those committees. So I've been very involved in all of that legislative work around healthcare. I was chosen as one of the 3 Republicans to be in the Measure 110 Committee on Joint Addiction and Community Safety Response. I'm on task forces and work groups and at all levels of healthcare, so that's a concern. Housing is a huge issue that's going to be moving forward in Salem. We've made some good progress there, but there's lots more to be done in housing. Schools are always a top concern for me as well.
Thank you. This next question comes from the Daily Courier, and they've asked me to ask this question of you. Your Senate district would include some of the poorest zip codes in Oregon. What can you do to address poverty in the district?
Well, that's really an excellent question because I think there is a very clear urban-rural divide in Salem, and I'm always fighting to be that voice for my smaller communities in these areas. You know, we're overall below median income. 90,000 is median income in the state, and we are between 55 and 60,000. So we do have lower income communities, and it is really important that I be out in those communities and talk to folks. I'm their voice in Salem. What do you need? What are your concerns? How can I better advocate for you? I spent all last summer when I was not in campaign mode doing just that, and really just listening to my constituents, helping protect them against onerous regulations and taxation.
Well, thank you. This next question, we're going to jump back to the Chamber of Commerce's questions. What are the steps that you would advocate for the state to take to improve business climate in Josephine County?
Well, the state overall is a pretty unfriendly business climate. One of the big issues that I've been taking on is the CAT tax, which is really a gross receipts tax on business and is most impacting those businesses that are running on very slim margins. It's an inflationary tax, of course, when businesses, they're going to pass along that tax to the consumers. So it's really a particularly egregious tax, and I'm going to continue to work against that. The estate tax is another big issue for people, and I've been trying to raise the estate tax exemption to at least 3 million. So much of our population, that is their greatest asset, is their property. It also affects small businesses as well. I think the paid leave law also for businesses is really a problem, and that has to be addressed in the next legislative session. So overall, I'm a business person. I understand what it takes for businesses to be healthy and well, to enable them to produce and to profit, which then they are able to invest in their own workforce and in their own capital investments, their ability to consume other products from other businesses, and to be able to save and be able to protect their business during downtimes. So it takes all of us in that business community and that continuum.
Thank you. Now shifting directions just a little bit, another question from the chamber. Some public opinion polls have shown that housing, homelessness, and the unhoused is a #1 problem in our area. What do you see as the solutions to this problem?
Well, drug addiction and mental illness are kind of the chicken or the egg. I mean, they're one and the same in that they are totally in relationship with each other, and collectively that's called behavioral health. One of the biggest, I was grappling with Measure 110. Drug addiction is a huge problem in the state, of course, is at the root cause of chaos in our communities, public safety issues, homelessness, of course. This is an extremely costly problem, and I fought very hard. My first effort was to completely repeal 110. We were able to get reforms on 110, and I think recriminalizing and returning tools to law enforcement is going to be extremely helpful in starting to get a handle on drug addiction, as well as really requiring treatment and building out our resources. We didn't do that well at all. We spent a lot of money in enabling and harm reduction strategies, so we've got to correct that. Housing is a slightly different issue, and housing has to do with land supply and severe restrictions and regulations and the permitting process and all that goes into developing housing. And we do have a problem in Josephine County in that now it requires a 3-figure income to purchase an average median priced house at $400,000.
Thank you very much. And let me ask a final question, and this comes from the Daily Courier. How are you best effective in Salem when you're in the minority?
Oh, well, it's very frustrating, but I take, I'm definitely a conservative voter. I have a very conservative record. So I protest, I will try to stop bad bills, but I'm also working for good for my constituents. What can I deliver that is good? What can I advocate for in Salem? So it's not enough just to be in that environment. It's very frustrating with a minority party when I disagree with almost all of their agenda. So I'm very aware that what we need to do is work actively toward gaining a majority. So all of our decisions in Salem are, of course, we look at the policy on bills, and we also look at the politics, because our state representatives live in different areas, very diverse areas of the state, and have a slightly different political kind of circumstance. But we have got to get at least minimum balance back in the state. The magic numbers are 31 representatives, 16 senators, and 1 governor. We get that scenario, and now we get to really take the leadership role in the state, and we have to be ready to lead on this. We need to be able to say, now we are going to direct the agenda in the state, repeal some of these really bad policies and law, and start to lead our state in a much better direction.
Well, thank you very much, Christine. That wraps up our questions that we were going to ask you. You now have 2 minutes to kind of give a little summary and talk directly to the voters as you did in your introduction. And we look forward to that. So please proceed if you would.
So when my constituents tell me, which influences my vision of the state of Oregon, what people want is pretty basic. They want good jobs. They want a strong economy that supports good jobs. They want good schools for their children. They want good roads and housing. They'd like safe public spaces that they feel like their family can use without feeling intimidated and frightened. They want local control. They want more. We have such diversity in the state, and this one size fits all that Salem is trying to impose on us has to be stopped. And we and other Southern Oregon reps work against that all the time. So what people want is freedom. They want just less tinkering in our lives and less burdensome kinds of policies that really just weigh us down instead of free us to live our lives without constant government, intrusion. So that's what I'm going to fight for. That is the vision that I see for Oregon, and we can return to that. I want Republicans to know we are very capable of returning. It was only 10 years ago that we had balance in the state. Republicans really need to get out and vote, and all people need to vote. Really pay attention to your candidates. What are their capabilities? What is the work that they are doing for you in Salem? And more so, overall, how are they advocating for you in your communities? So I am very excited about what's going to happen over the next few years. I'm very committed. Surrender is not an option to me. So that's why I've committed to doing this work, and I'm really just getting very good at it. So I'm hoping the voters will support me in this Senate race.
Well, thank you, Christine. We really appreciate you taking time and joining our Chamber of Commerce and Daily Courier election forum. And as they say, oftentimes, happy times on the trail. I hope to see you on the trail a number of different times, and good luck to you in your candidacy.
Thank you. And I encourage people to call me and reach out to me with any questions or concerns they have. Thank you
Very much. Yep.